Hello, everyone. Great to have you all here. Thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with us today. Let me very quickly introduce us. So for those who are with us for the first time, I'm Diana from PDFix Marketing, and here with me is Jozef, our CEO. So welcome to our webinar. This time topic, how to generate figure and formula alt text, MathML, table summaries, and annotation description automatically with us with PDFix. I know the title is mouthful, but I'm really excited about today's session because we are going to tackle something we hear about all the time from our customers. So let me give you a quick sense of what we will cover today, basically the whole title. So we are going to talk about alt text for figures, converting formulas to MathML, summarizing complex tables, describing annotations, all of which needs to be accessible. And we will show you how PDFix automates these time-consuming tasks. So basically, there are 4 layers of solutions, how we automate these actions, from basic actions to layout templates. But what we are really excited about is our growing library of marketplace AI module action that are basically add-ons to PDFix. And today we'll show you exactly how these are used, because we are actually getting very nice outcomes using these tools. But I will leave these tricks to Jozef to show you and explain all of these, because he's the one who is really good in this. But we'll save the time for question and answers at the end. But meantime, feel free to drop any questions in the chat you might have during the session. We are watching the chat. So Jozef, if you want to jump in, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Diana. I hope everyone can hear me very well. So welcome, everyone, and I'm glad to have everyone here to speak about the next set of features that we have available in PDFix desktop primarily. Today we will speak about one of the most wanted feature, actually most requested features that we identify when we talk to our customers, and it's an alternate text. Many remediators and many companies struggle with this problem in the accessible PDF documents, and we will try to show you a few options how to deal with this alternate text for images in various use cases. When we speak about alternate text for images, we will also mention the annotation contents or even MathML formulas, which are more or less very similar things in the accessible, and they basically describe some content that is image-based or simply that requires some identification, or description. Alternative text is very similar to actual text, so we'll touch also setting the actual text in the PDF. I will show you a few examples how to use it. As you can see in the table of contents, we already have here a few 4 basic methods in our list today. The website, which I will present here, is a replacement for the standard presentation that we used in the past. I hope this slide through which we will go through will be much easier for you to read, because our support team already placed the same link to the chat, so you can open the website and you can take a look at individual steps. You can try it out immediately with PDFix desktop. So all the resources that I will be showing here will be available directly on your computer for testing. At the end, I will ask you for a few questions. So any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. And I think it's a good time to jump in. So as I mentioned, we will cover a few use cases, and the first use case that will show how to deal with alternate text is probably the most common that you may see across many PDF editing application, and it's basically the manual tagging. Manual tagging, PDFix Desktop enables manual tagging of PDF documents, and basically you can modify every single aspect or property of objects. You can auto tag and so on. For this approach, I've prepared one example, which is, sorry, this is not a good file. It's a manual alternate text. So we have a PDF that does not have an alternate text. So the very basic way of identification of definition of alternate text is that you can type here the image description. Of course, this is an easy way. You can choose alternate text, you can choose actual text. For those who are interested in looking into the PDF, into a low-level object, you can switch to attributes where you can see actually the structure element object. This is very useful for advanced users, but here the alternate text description or any other keys can be checked as well. So for this description, just typing description, that's enough. Once this is set, then you can follow up to the next figure. In this search button, you can quickly navigate in between the figures, so you can dynamically jump through the structure elements that needs editing the alternate text. Of course, you can also use these quick search buttons to go through the whole document and search for individual figure elements or any other structure elements that you are looking for. When we speak about the manual fixing of annotation contents, basically it is very similar, and I will show you another example. This example contains a lot of annotations that are in this document, and basically we can show them here. So we have some links in this document. What is good actually to use the validation pane, to validation itself, to see the problematic parts, because then you can dynamically find issues and in the PDF documents. And these link annotations can be the annotation contents can be typed here in this contents edit where you can put the description. Again, just like in the previous case, let's say this is a link annotation, just a placeholder. Again, if you click on attributes, you can check the link annotation structure elements, and the contents key defines here the link annotation. So this is an easy way of manual tagging. Of course, you have full control over the description of each element. It is quite time-consuming because actually you need to work with every single element. And of course, in the large document set or even large documents, this might be time-consuming and simply may have some downsides when working with many documents or large documents. The second option for definition of alternate text for images is using the templates. Previously, we have done a few webinars and we have few resources dedicated to templates. Just a short wrap-up. The template is a configuration file, typically JSON, that is made for defining the rules and properties of various objects and structures to properly auto-tag the PDF document. In this case, the template can also work with the alternate text. So if you define your own template for auto tagging, you can also define the alternate text for structure elements. I have prepared one example of the template. Just a second, I need to switch to the template view, and let me drop here the template JSON file. In this JSON, we define the number of elements, and you can see that it's a kind of like a bank statement, and the goal is to set an alternate text to this image on the top right corner of the first page. In order to do that, we define in the template the elements on the page, and here in the template, in the nested template, we also have elements for the image definition in this header. The structure, let me expand this a little bit. So we can see actually this item here represents the definition of an image that will be transformed to a figure tag in the tag document. And you can see that this image is defined by the bounding box. It defines as an image, and we also can define the alternate text for this image. So this is very useful when you want to work with a known template. You want to auto tag the PDF with a known structure. Any pre-prepared layout template may contain this information about alternate text. After auto tagging this PDF, we can check the figure, and basically the figure contains the alternate text as we defined it in the template. This way you can define images in the whole document. So presuming that you have a document with many images, you basically have to identify each image by its either position, page, or some other properties like width, height. So these are the identification marks that helps us to tell which image will have a specific template. This is actually also a downside of this solution, because you need to define each image in the PDF. Of course, if you define this template manually, sometimes it's worth it, because if you have a known template and the document is generated over and over with the same layout, then really it makes sense to produce this template, even though there will be multiple images in the PDF. Let's go to the next template, and next step. Let me go figure initial. Okay, so we went through this. Okay. The next use case is when you work with already tagged documents. Already tagged documents means that you have a document that it has a structure, and let me open this example. We have a PDF document with a set of images that do not have an alternate text. You can see that these images are within the content. There are multiple images, and when you run the validation, you can easily see the problematic parts in the PDF, and basically you will find that these images are missing alternate text, but it's not just those images, these large images in the main content, but we have also these bullets here. And the problem is that when we want to define the structure, alternate text for these images, we would either do it manually, which would probably take a lot of time, because even for these 9 images, we have a problem. But if we look at the figure, there is some text inside. And for this use case, specific use case, we could use this text as a description, which is very useful, which is actually useful information that we have in that image. And one of the options how to automatically set the alternate text to images is to use the content, the text content inside of the image. This is also useful for, this is of course useful for this specific PDF, but we have seen many PDF documents with charts that do have some descriptions or labels inside of the image that could be used for alternate texts. So if your PDF, if your images matches to this use case, then it's definitely worth it. To avoid setting the text in these small bullets, we can define a properties, a template, actually, it's a template that will be used for identification only these large images. If we take a look at this small image, it's a figure, and we can check the figure, this figure size. And these small bullets are actually figures that are never wider than 6 points, 6 PDF units. So we could technically define our template to set all images that are larger than 6 points, and we will use the template to use the text inside. So let's look at the function. and it's a set alternate description. And I have prepared the action. In the second example, I will show you how to define these templates. Basically, these templates says that we need to update any tag of the name figure. This is a regular expression, and so we can actually modify different various tags. In this case, it's figure, and the width and height is larger than 6. So this is the condition for applying the rule, applying the function on the figure tag. So when we can pick this configuration, this template. So this is our template, large images only, and we can choose from the drop down what type of dynamic alternate text we will use. In our case, we'll use the associated tag content. This means that any associated text which is somehow connected with this structure element will be used. So running this will apply changes on these figure tags, and you can see that each figure in this large figure set contains already the alternate text, which is taken from the text inside. Look at the images that are those bullets. These bullets were not touched. This basically because of the condition that we put into the action. So we can rerun the validation. Basically, we're done, and we need to follow up with the next step. Let's say do it again with the different conditions and to set the alternate text for these bullets, and this will fix problems in this PDF document. This type of processing is very useful for even larger documents. Still need some setup, still need some identification of the elements, because the identification must be done through the template, and you need to find some unique property of the image to identify it, of the structure element, to identify it, so that the function can make a correct decision which image will be modified and which will be left untouched. When we can go to the next example, and it's okay. So this was the one. Okay. In case of annotations, it's a very similar use case. It's this one. So in case of annotations, we have a PDF document that also needs some remediation, and we have a problem with link annotations on each page. Basically, the number of annotations is quite large. So again, the modification of each annotation individually would take a lot of time, and we can set up an automated or semi-automated workflow that will fix all the problem. Similarly to the previous use case, we need to define the type of annotations to be fixed and the method to choose the annotation contents. When we can follow up directly from the validation pane, as you can see, I don't have to search for the function. I will show you later how this action can be accessed through the other menu items. Here in this annotation selection, I can choose what type of annotations I'm going to use. I can choose the links and markups, all annotations, or just widget annotations. Depending on the problems that you want to solve, you can address a specific type of annotations. For this use case, I will choose links and markups. Sorry, and in the text that I want to dynamically assign to this annotation, actually I have a few options. I can choose a custom text. I can also choose the text from inside of the annotation bounding box. This is useful for markup annotations. This is useful for links, because these annotations are typically somehow connected to the text. We can also choose the action destination. This is, for example, useful for table of contents, because the link points to a specific page or specific URL, or you can choose the automatically generated text. Automatically generated text is, in many cases, generates a placeholder text. Like, for example, if you have a stamp annotation, we'll just put a stamp annotation just to fill the data with something to to avoid any accessibility problems. But in case of, for example, widget annotation, we use the field name to fill in, or in case of link annotations, we can also choose the action destination. So for this example, I will choose the text from inside the annotation bounding box so that you can see what will be, how would look like how the output would look like. So you can see that each link now has the same text as it's below the link, and this way you can fix all the problems with a single click and just by using this action. Running the validation again, you can see that all the problems with the link annotation are gone. Of course, it may happen that there is no text below the link annotation. The solution is you can run the same set annotation contents again, and you can simply, because these annotation contents are now empty, some of them are filled, you can simply choose a custom text. You can define your custom text not to override it. So those that are filled with the text below them will remain, and you can put here that the link annotation pointing somewhere. So this would be your annotation contents placeholder in case you will still have some annotation problems with annotation contents. So this was another example, and we can proceed to the next one, and we can take a look at the actual text. This will be a good example because here I will show you the way how to actually define the templates for choosing the right structure elements. So let's go here, the basic actual text. So how is our PDF document? It's a tag document. Again, we can search for the figure tag, and the target figure images we want to modify are these two images that are repeated across document. It's this green circle and this red cross. As you can see, we have many red crosses and many green circles in the whole document. So really, it will be quite time consuming to define actual texts for these images. We need to find out the differences between these two images to identify them within the content. This image, actually to find the differences in between images, because they are the position factor can be used because the images are randomly placed on pages. What we could focus on is, for example, the size of an image. To show the size of an image, we can take a look at the content. So here we can find content from selection. And we can see that this image here, the green circle, has a size of 21. The red cross is an image with a size 20 or 20.25. This is a good information because we can identify them by width or height. So this information will be used also in our template. So to set an actual text for images, we'll run the function set actual text, and we will define our custom text, let's say first for these green circles. So our green circle will be yes, and we can define now the template. Define the template. We typically start from the scratch, but once you will figure out that you will reuse some templates, you can keep them in this dialog as a preset. So here it's filled in. So let me clean this up because I wanted to show you exactly how to define this custom set. So this is a function tag update. Basically, this tag update function is a same function like any other which we'll use in the templates, and to create rules for applying the modification on the tag, we need to define the tag name first. It's tag type, and here we have two options: either regular expression or equal or not equal. So it's up to you. So we want to modify the figure tag, and because we want to identify it by size, we know that the size of the figure, yes, is 21. So we will add the width is 21 and height is also 21. We can save it. Now we can rename it and let's put it here, green circle. Okay, so now we have a selected template, green circle. We have our custom actual text and we have yes. So let's run it and we'll see what's going to happen. We can take a look at the figure tag. We can see that the actual text is already set as yes. And the next one is not set, still not set. So we can proceed to the same operation like we did with the yes. So let's run it again. Set actual text. Now we need to create a new template because we want to modify the red cross. So we can simply duplicate this action as the red cross. And for editing, we need to put the value of 20.25. That was the size of the figure. So everything else remained the same. Let's confirm, close. So we have a tags definition by the template for red crosses, and we'll put no here as a text. So we can run it, and you can see we have already placed a no for an actual text. Looking at the other figure tags in the document, you can see that yes and no is filled across all images with the same size. So this way we can easily set an alternate text to all images that actually fulfills the conditions that we put into the template. So this is very useful in case you have images that are repeated across documents, and we have seen many documents with some signs in the text. Really, the differentiation of these images by size may be really tiny differences in the size will help you to really automate the process so that you will be able to define the alternate text for all images in the content, even though you would have hundreds of documents or have hundreds of images in the content. So the last group, the last use case or the last method for changing the alternate text for images is quite often requested using AI models. Then we have a couple of AI models that can write the description of images, and these AI models basically, in order to run the AI models or work with the description using AI, you need to install the external actions. External actions are extensions to the PDFix desktop. They're using Docker, so you should have installed a Docker for desktop, which is a free software, and you can then install various types of AI models that can extend the functionality of PDFix desktop. For instance, we have a BLIP for making alternate descriptions. We have also other functionalities like HTML to PDF language detection, but we'll focus now on those that are able to create some type of descriptions. So we have this BLIP, which produce quite good results in an offline, which means that it runs locally, does not send data anywhere. But we also have other like OpenAI. We have also Pedal OCR that can work with the MathML formulas. So let's look at what we can do with these examples, and based on the images that you have and the operations that you need to fulfill, and the abilities to use an online or offline, you can choose the preferred AI model. You can also use your own model because the integration of other models is possible. And basically, it's very simple. Just by writing a simple configuration file, you can integrate other models or other AI models directly into PDFix desktop. So let's look at the example for AI. We have, we'll open this manual out again. So this figure can be automatically identified using AI. just by clicking on the figure, choose Run Action on Selection. We can have multiple PDF documents as well. So, and we can choose from multiple options how to generate the alternate for text for images. The basic one using BLIP, for example, when we run it, it will automatically do process an image and will send it to AI for processing. After processing, we should get an information about the image. As you can see, the description is quite simple, very short. For basic use, it's enough. But if you want to have a better description generated automatically, you can, for example, try OpenAI. And with OpenAI, you can also, this is the OpenAI API key that you will need. You can choose from various OpenAI models, and you can also choose the language. In case you will need a specific prompt for generation images, and we have seen use cases when the client wanted to ensure that the amount of credits used for AI will not exceed a certain value, you can type your own prompt, let's say to limit the responses to let's say 100 characters or even shorter. So running this process will generate a result that will be much richer. As you can see in this example, the image description is sometimes even too long. Maybe you can write your own description depending on what type of documents you use. This, if you have a PDF document that contains a lot of images, you can choose to run the same on the whole document. So this will proceed image by figure. You can also choose to process. Basically, this will help you to process the whole document automatically. To generate multiple documents, I will show you how to use the batch processing at the end. So the next example that we'll show you with AI models is math formulas. When we speak about the alternate text for images, we should mention also formulas that are also imported and important to be described. So the math formula is many times placed into a PDF as a figure. It must not be a figure. Sometimes actually it's a text, but in many cases it's a figure. So it requires a description. Math formulas in the PDF document, as in the tag PDF document, may have a description which is written in a MathML format. And this is like basically the way how you can actually how you can describe the math formula in a machine readable form. These MathML files are stored as an associated file. So, and we have a couple of options how to generate this MathML. We can use OpenAI for generating the MathML, or we can use PeddleOCR. PeddleOCR has an advantage. Again, it works completely offline, locally. You don't need an internet connection for that, and you're not sending data anywhere. So running this PeddleOCR will again take the image of the formula, send it for AI, and the AI will generate a MathML structure, which will be placed into this structure element as an associated file. It might take a few seconds, but right now we see this associated file, and we can take a look. This is an XML which defines this math formula. This math formula was generated using an AI. Actually, it's machine readable, and now it's a good resource for making alternate text for formulas. So running the same process like we did before, we can run the alternate description from MathML, for example, using OpenAI. So running this, I don't have the API key. Never mind. Running this AI, we will let me do this. I can do it. Take it from here, so that I will use the same API key here, and let's go here, MathML. So this is my API key run. So using this AI, we can generate alternate text from the XML, which is a precise description of this image based on the MathML resource. So even if you have already tagged PDF with MathML files inside, you can use them to generate the alternate text for images. This functionality using AI is very flexible because it can be extended with any other AI. Actually, you can work with also with other elements in the PDF documents. You can also use that for table summaries, and basically this should provide you decent results in fixing the structure automatically. Probably the last thing I will speak about is automation and the batch processing, because all the functions that I've mentioned, except the first one, can be fully automated and can be run in a batch. So by selecting multiple documents, you have the ability to run all the processes directly from this menu, from the action menu. You have set alternate text, which will operate the same way, but on the whole PDF document. So we send the whole PDF for processing. We search for all images and all images and all formulas in the PDF to generate the description. And this way, you can really process many documents using a single click, and basically all actions are available here. After processing, actually, I can't avoid this. I must mention that even after each processing, each automated processing, if it's possible, do a review, do a human check to ensure that the results generated by AI or by the setup for automated processes is correct. This will ensure that perfect accessibility and compliance with the WCAG or PDF UA standards. So from the content that I wanted to speak about, that's everything. So I think, Diana, I would hand it over to you. If we have collected some questions, I will be happy to answer them. I think you're on mute. Diana, you're mute.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just saying thank you for walking us through this. And we have some questions. And actually, we've had several questions coming during the session. So yeah, I think we can jump right in and start us answering them. The first one would be, do I need to have my own paid subscription with OpenAI to use this feature, or is it already included in PDFix license?
Yeah, good question, and we get this question over and over. Basically, you work with your own OpenAI API key, so you need your own account. Yeah, you have complete control over the usage, and you can actually set up the models that you want to use. Yeah, it's your account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long does it take to process? I like per file. Is the question.
The processing time really depends on the chosen method that you have you use on the PDF document. Really, the first two options using I will not speak about manual because it's just the manual work. If we speak about the template, you can expect very fast processing. This is on machine only processing without any external resources. So the template approach is really fast, and really you can achieve the results in a milliseconds, I would say, and you can process many files, many pages in a second. When you choose to use AI models, of course, this depends on the type of the AI that you have chosen. If you use, let's say, OpenAI or any other cloud-based AI, it will also depend on the internet connection. But if you choose to use any local, it depends on the performance of that particular AI. We have tried multiple AI models. The BLIP that we have integrated into the PDFix desktop provided decent results and also is quite fast. but actually it can't be compared to the template approach, but you still have a dynamic results or results that actually can reflect every single image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have a question from Paul. Do you have any options other than Docker for integrating external actions like doclink into PDFix? Getting authorization to install additional software or applications can be a very lengthy process.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I would say the Docker integration was chosen mainly to simplify the process of installing additional software that is necessary for using in PDFix desktop. If you imagine to install the doclink or any other AI directly on your machine, there is so many dependencies, and there are many different dependencies across multiple AI models. So if you imagine to run multiple AI models on the same machine, that would be I think, from my point of view, a much bigger pain in terms of the authorization of the installing additional software. Additionally, this Docker provides using the Docker, we were able to provide many different types of action, not just AI-based, but also the actions that require installation of, let's say, command line applications that require additional resources and installation. So we already have, let's say, for language detection, for fixing fonts, and other processes that extend the functionality of PDFix desktop. This would require installation of another software on your computer. So if the Docker is the only software that you will need to run the actions. However, all our actions are, or most of them are, open source. So you can see the code which runs behind that. And if there will be a need, then of course you can write your own application, and we can guide you how to integrate that into the PDFix desktop. And yeah, just get in touch with us if you need any custom application to run with PDFix desktop, no problem.
Yeah. We have another question. Is there a way to utilize AI without concerns over confidential information from figures being processed online?
Yes, that's what actually solves the local actions or local AI models. Basically, the BLIP, pedal OCR, and we have few others available for other problems in the PDF documents that are running completely offline. So if you install them even on the computer running without internet, you don't have to be worried about your data. Of course, if you choose to use OpenAI or any cloud-based solution, then the results may be much better, richer, but you need to actually make sure that your data will be your data will be then shared with that particular party. We do not store anything on our server, so the choice for using the AI model, it's up to you, and you can have complete control over the sending of the data.
Yeah, and there is another question. Will you add AI integration to the PDFix CLI app?
Yeah, we already have this, and if there will be a need, reach out to us. We'll guide you how to use the command line application together with AI models. Basically, all AI models that we run and that we show today are running as a command line as well. So Docker is not running constantly, but we run Docker as a command line application as well. And if you need to set up some workflow that will include processing of the PDF using PDFix app or the PDFix command line, and after that run some processes with the Docker, it will be just additional set of command lines to execute. So feel free, just reach out to us. We'll guide you we will send you the necessary resources and guide you through the process, how to set it up.
And there is another question from David. Thanks for the valuable case, let's say I use AI integrations to insert alternative text, but maybe I receive the same image 10 times and I don't want to make 10 AI calls, one is enough. Is there a way to manage images like this?
Well, it's an interesting use case. We have seen this a couple of times already, and at the moment, we don't have a direct solution for execution this. However, it is possible to solve this using a custom application that is able to identify, that would be able to identify images based on the data or other things. So if your image repeats across the whole in the document multiple times, I presume that properly tagged image you could consider artifacting the other images. But if you really need these images to be tagged, it would need a custom solution. At the moment, we don't have like a ready-to-use solution in PDFix Desktop to identify the same images.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another question. This one is pretty interesting. Is it possible to combine these methods, set some alternates with one method, and, for example, rest with AI actions?
Basically, yes. If you the alternate text for images defined, for example, by these basic actions, can be customized for specific image types. As I show you in my example, we can define the images by using PDFix SDK by size, for example, or a position by page number. So you can customize the template to choose which figures will be affected by the basic functions like set alternate text or set actual text. After that, I presume that there will be another set of images that will be still without the alternate text. So processing these images as a next step, as a next action, will fill in the rest of images. So the solution is to run the action multiple times in a kind of a simplified workflow. First, let's say set alternate text for images using our action base action, like using this one. Text set alternate description, and the next one would be the chosen AI model. You can also define the workflow that will do the same. So you can create a new action which does this. So we can set alternate description. That will be the first action. We can choose the type of action to be executed, and then we can set up, let's say, OpenAI. Set alternate action description using OpenAI. We can use the same properties like we used in the previous case. So we can type this alternate text solution, and you can save it and let's say put it into accessibility category, save. And now this alternate text solution is available in our user interface. You can run it, general here, set alternate text solution. So you can execute this process on many PDF documents at once. It will solve the problem automatically.
Yeah, and that leads us to another question. Is it possible to use the AI to artifact images?
At the moment, this is not possible. The only way to artifact images is again using the template. You can choose the action to artifact content, and basically you can run action to either artifact content. Here you also have the ability to define the template which will choose the specific object from the PDF document to artifact them. At the moment, we don't have an AI-based solution to artifact images directly. We got this request already, so we are looking for the solution how to actually some AI models will be able to provide us the information about which image should be artifact and which should be a part of the real content. Yeah, so the AI models are growing. The evolution of AI models is going very fast. So it may happen that actually within the next few weeks will come up a new one. We have built a kind of a flexible way of integrating the new AI models into PDFix Desktop. And as I mentioned, you have the ability to integrate your own custom AI. So basically, any new AI that comes up on the market. And if you would like to use that, just send us an email. We'll review that and we'll write a configuration file, or we'll show you how to write your own code or how to integrate that AI model into the PDFix desktop, only for using in your company, let's say.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jozef. It looks like the question chat is empty, so that means everything is crystal clear, I guess. Well, if you think of anything later, just reach out to us. We also add this question to the facts section on PDFix.net. Just a quick reminder before we end, you will receive the webinar recording shortly after the session. So you'll find it also on PDFix website in the webinar section, and we will also add it to PDFix YouTube channel as well. And before we wrap, a small invitation. On December 11th, we are running a webinar dedicated to proper PDF validation. If you want to ensure that your PDFs pass compliance checks without surprises, this one is definitely for you. There are lots of valuable insights coming this way, so register on pdfix.net also in our webinar section. And yeah, from us, it's a wrap for today. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Jozef, for the great session. And we'll see you at our next webinar.
Pretty much. Goodbye.